Raider Nation, what is going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. I'm going to be breaking down some grades here for the Raiders beat down on the Broncos. And for everyone who's watching us right now, can I get a just win in the comments section? Just win, baby, because it was a great game, and I met a lot of awesome people at this game. So if you're watching this video, comment just win, baby, because the Raiders, they showed up on Monday Night Football, and they got it done. And if you're watching this video and you say, Mitch, you sound hungover and you sound tired, it's because I 100% am. So the Raiders, they showed out on Monday Night Football. Derek Carr played well. Josh Jacobs, sure, the yards per carry weren't that great, but he was able to shoulder a workload. Tyrell Williams was able to show that he can also be a wide receiver one. Overall, the Raiders-Broncos game was an absolute thriller, and I was super stoked that I finally got to go to a game. So let's get now into some of these grades. Now, this show that we're going to do today is not about me. I want to see what you guys have to say. So for the offense, what would you guys give the offensive grade? All right, so I want you to comment A, B, C, D, or F. So think about this. A is like absolutely insanely good. F is for failing. C is average. So I'm going to try to be a little bit tougher with my grades on this episode. The offense, I'm giving it a B grade. Make sure you guys are commenting for your grades below. The offense, I thought, played well. But also, I'll say this. In terms of yards, they didn't put up as many yards. They started off fast, and then there was a few times there where we just kind of slowed down and I think got complacent. I think Derek played well. You look at 259 passing yards. We had 98 rushing yards, right? And then in terms of total yards, 357. The important stat here that I absolutely love is third down conversion rate. We were 71% against the Denver Broncos. So the offensive stats versus the Broncos, the third down, we were 10 of 14, 71%. That is very important. And I think one of the best stats out of them all is our red zone efficiency. 3 of 4 were 75%. So we got into the red zone 4 times. We came away with 3 touchdowns. And the big difference in this ball game was the fact that we were able to score in the red zone and the Broncos weren't. So now let's look at the defense, right? The defense played well. What would you guys grade the defense? Now, I see some of you kind of getting mad at me for giving the offense a B. The reason why I'm giving the offense only a B is simply because they did not, in my opinion, play as well as the defense. So for this reason, I'm giving the defense an A grade. They showed out. The energy that the defense was bringing this entire game was outstanding. It was getting the entire nation hyped up. The fact that we were able to get after Joe Flacco, the fact that we were able to make him feel uncomfortable, and we had 3 sacks in this game, 2 of them which went to Benson Mayock. Sure, we didn't force any turnovers, but the most important stat that I could tell you guys is the Broncos, they got into the red zone 4 times and only came away with 1 touchdown. If you go back and you look at all the stats, if you're just going to be a box score whore and just look at the numbers in there, you're going to be like, wow, this was actually a pretty close game. The difference was our defense, sure, we bent a little bit, but we didn't break. Our offense converted in the red zone. That was the big difference. Let's go to special teams now. We'll be a little bit quicker here on this one. What would you grade special teams? I gave the offense a B. I gave the defense an A. So I'm going to give special teams a B as well. I thought Daniel Carlson, he played well. You know, he came in, made his only field goal, all good. Their kicking team, though, special teams, we really held the Broncos in check. Plus, Dwayne Harris. I'll tell you what, the Broncos, they scored a touchdown. And then what happened the very next kickoff? Dwayne Harris takes it 72 yards. And as soon as he was running, the entire Coliseum starts lighting up. And it's probably the main reason why I literally don't have a voice on today's show. So make sure you guys, we got a lot of new graphics going on, and I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed. And if you like this video, you see below, please give us a like on this video. I want to try to get this video to 1,000 likes. Okay? Get it to 1,000 likes. Get this video to 1,000 likes. YouTube.com/Raiders Report. Click that big red button also if you're not subscribed. Let's keep the show rolling here. Derek Carr. What would you guys grade Derek Carr? A, B, C, D, F? Let me hear it in the comments section. I see Abrams going with B. Marcio's going B. Jeff Rogers, Loyal Watchers, says A. Seeing a lot of A's now rolling in here. So for me, I'm going to give Derek Carr an A. 22 of 26 for 259 yards. Derek Carr was in total control of the entire game. in total control. He was audibling when he needed to. Sure, he didn't light up the stat sheet, but at the end of the day, the Raiders won the football game, and he knew, hey, Josh is running the football well. We're working this team. The defense is getting tired. We're going to continue to run the football. So Derek Carr, to me, gets an A. And Derek looked just like he did in 2015 and looked just like he did in 2016. The dude was in total control of this entire football game, and he was getting the ball out 2.33 seconds. That's insane. The third best in the NFL this week. Von Miller had a quote. That said, when you give Derek Carr time, he's one of the best in the league. Von Miller then, after the game, said, we just couldn't get to him because he was getting rid of the ball too quick. That's also a big credit to the offensive line and to the receivers for getting open. So grade Derek Carr versus the Denver Broncos. We got 465 people watching us live. Now I'm going to go over to Facebook here on my phone because I want to see how many people are watching us on Facebook. Make sure you guys are commenting below what you guys are going to grade Derek Carr, because I thought Derek Carr played great. And sure, you're going to see 259 yards. You're going to see a lot of these other stats. But Derek, my man, he absolutely balled out. Another guy who balled out for us was Josh Jacobs. Really excited to see what Josh is going to be able to do this year. And he's one of the reasons why I think that he's going to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year. So Josh, I'm going to give him a B+ grade. Now remember, I'm going to be a little bit more tough on these guys. I'm not just going to give everyone an A. This isn't the Oprah Winfrey Show. Josh, 3.7 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns. Now, the Broncos have a good defense, but the fact that he was able to hold down the running game with the 23 carries, plus he did get 1 catch for 28 yards, was really exciting for me to be able to see, because I know Josh Jacobs is a talented running back. We know that. It's why we drafted him so high. But for me to say, all right, he deserves an A, I'm not going to give somebody an A who ultimately only had 3.7 yards per carry, but there are big, big things coming for Josh Jacobs in this upcoming year. So we're doing a lot of grades, so make sure you guys continue to comment your grades, all right? Raiders versus the Broncos, Monday Night Football grades. So this show, I want you guys to comment on YouTube. I want you to comment on Facebook, because we got 560 people watching on YouTube and over 100 people watching on Facebook. So make sure you guys continue to get those grades rolling in. Raider Mike says tripping. Rookie of the Year. See, I'm not tripping. I'm just trying to be a little bit tougher on some of these guys. So now, next grade's coming in. Washington and Richard. Thought they played not a lot, so the reason why they have such a bad grade here is a D. And the only reason why I'm going to say it's a D, sure, it's simply because they did not play as much. And to me, the Raiders, they played really well. And the fact that Josh Jacobs looked as good as he did, I think for them, it's kind of like, okay, we don't really need to go out and use Jalen Richard. We don't really need to use DeAndre Washington as much, simply because Josh Jacobs played so well. So that's why it's a lower grade for them. So don't get super mad at me here. I see a bunch of you guys getting a little upset. So continue to make sure you guys are commenting the grades. All right. Make sure you guys subscribe, youtube.com/Raiders Report, because we're doing grades here for the Broncos and the Raiders. The next player that I want to talk about is Tyrell Williams. This guy had a great game, and he was really able to show that we have a wide receiver 1. I'm giving Tyrell Williams an A+ grade, and I don't really think you can give him anything else. When I saw Tyrell working against Chris Harris, he was able to get open against one of the best cornerbacks in the entire NFL. Tyrell Williams was getting fed targets by getting fed targets by Derek Carr. And I know a bunch of you guys were chanting stuff about AB, and believe me, we'll get to that in a little bit. But he looked like he was ready to really shoulder this wide receiver 1 that the Raiders desperately, desperately need. The next wide receiver that I want to talk about and give a grade to, it's Hunter Renfrow. Now, Hunter Renfrow, to me, showed up a little bit here and there. He was able to run some solid routes. But for me, Hunter Renfrow, I think, kind of got put in the back a little bit, which is okay. I think he's a solid slot receiver. So I give Hunter Renfrow a C grade. He had an average game. He didn't have as good of a game, obviously, as Tyrell or Darren Waller. But at the end of the day, Hunter Renfrow, he stepped up. Another player, Ryan Grant, didn't light up the stat sheet, but when he needed to make a big catch, he did. So I'm going to give Ryan Grant a C grade, an average game. Didn't do anything spectacular. Didn't do anything that really hurt us. So make sure you guys continue to comment. I need a sip of water. As you can tell, my voice is absolutely shot from last night's game. Next player that I'm going to grade, Antonio Brown. What would you guys grade Antonio Brown? Now, here's the thing. I promise you we are not going to talk about Antonio Brown anymore because it's over and done with. So the grade for Antonio Brown is F-A-B. Man, if there was one takeaway that I had from this game, and you guys know, if you were there, everyone's chanting F-A-B. And it was freaking awesome, man. I was laughing so hard because I had a woman in front of me, her little kid, they're like 8 years old. The woman wasn't. The kid was 8, and the kid's yelling F-A-B. So let me hear you in the comments section, F-A-B. F-A-B. And you know what? I'm trying to not get blocked on YouTube. So, and make sure you type F-A-B, because if you type the actual word, it's going to get blocked. If you want to say Tom A-B, I'm all about it. But from my walk into the game to the time we left, man, F-A-B. And if you're watching this video, make sure you guys, okay? If you yelled F-A-B at all yesterday, make sure you subscribe. YouTube.com/Raiders Report. Man, I got to go to Oakland for the very first time. I took the BART in, which was a hell of an experience. And from the time I got on the BART, people were chanting F-A-B. By the time I was going back to the BART, which was an interesting experience because I was drunk out of my mind. I had no idea where I was in Oakland. But people are still yelling F-A-B. So if you yelled F-A-B at least one time yesterday at the game or at your home, make sure you click subscribe, because this is the Raiders channel that I want to be a part of here. Raider Nation, we are a family. But I promise you, here's the last time. I'm going to try not to talk about F-A-B anymore. Sound good? F-A-B, one more time in the comments section. Let's go to Dwayne Harris now. Dwayne Harris played well for special teams. He didn't do much as a wide receiver, but overall, Dwayne Harris was a player who I think was important in this game. So Dwayne is the leader on this team. He had a few key returns, so I gave him a B grade. Now, he had like 6 returns for over 100 yards, but the really important return was after that Broncos touchdown, he came back with an electric return, and then it got the black hole lit up again. Man, I've gone to a lot of football games. I went to a Cowboys game last year, Monday Night Football. I'll tell you this right now, Cowboys fans were not even close to as loud as what the black hole was. That's 4 Chucky heads, believe it, baby. Let's go to Alec Ingold. Alec Ingold, for me, did what he needed to do, did not light up the stat sheet, but I think that's okay. I think he had a good game, so I'm going to give him a C grade here. But make sure you guys continue to give me your grades as well. All right, we're going to continue to roll through the show. We'll speed it up here a little bit. Alec Ingold, a C grade. Let me know in the comments section what you guys are giving these grades. And as we continue to roll through this, remember, this one is not about me. It's about you guys. So make sure you guys continue to put in the comments section the grades there. I would definitely appreciate that. So, like the video, give us a like, that would be great. All right, to continue to get these grades up, Darren Waller. Darren Waller, for me, I don't know if you guys watched my top 10 players, okay? I said Darren Waller needs to be that wide receiver 2 now. And that's exactly what the Raiders did with him. So, Darren Waller, you get an A. I was super impressed. And I know I didn't give him as high of a grade as Tyrell Williams, but I'll say this right now. The most athletic dude on the football field last night on offense for the Raiders was Darren Waller. And if you watched the game, you were like, oh my Lord, who is this man? 7 catches, 70 yards on 8 targets. Darren Waller showed up. And I'm telling you right now, for those of you that are out there for fantasy football, if you want a breakout candidate, it's Darren Waller. Because this guy at 6'6", 256 pounds, he can freaking move and he can catch the football. Darren Waller was a player that I was really excited about, and finally seeing it was really good. Foster Moreau. What would you guys give Foster Moreau? Let me know. Because me, I'm going to give it a C grade. He did okay. Nothing too special. Needed the block when he did, but overall pretty good. Let's talk about the offensive line. Offensive line, what would you guys give them? Because this one's easy. The offensive line gets an A+ grade for me. The offensive line, man, I've ripped on Tom Cable a bunch in my entire career. But the offensive line for the Oakland Raiders was spectacular. You know how many sacks they gave up? 0. You know how many quarterback hits they gave up? 0. The fact that we were able to hold Bradley Chubb and we were able to hold Von Miller to no QB hits is absolutely outstanding. And here's the best part. We don't even have Gabe Jackson. We don't even have Richie Incognito. So Tom Cable. So everyone who's watching the Raiders Report right now, here's the thing. I want you guys to get the clap. Yep, I know. I said it. So type clap for the offensive line. Because the offensive line was the reason why Derek looked as good as he did, 22 of 26. He gave him plenty of time. So for everyone who's watching the show on YouTube, or if you're watching it on Facebook, you better type clap in the comments section because this offensive line looked absolutely incredible. Also, I have an incredible deal for everyone who's watching the show. Chatsports.com/bet. Go to BetDSI, use that promo code Raiders120 for 120% deposit bonus. BetDSI, they've hooked us up with the best deal out there. Chatsports.com/bet. If anybody goes and does this, hit me up on Twitter. It's there below, at Mitchell Renz 365, that you signed up, and I'm going to give you guys a shout out on the show. BetDSI, they're helping us out, and also I want to help you guys out. Get some free money. Go bet on the Raiders, because the Raiders got a tough game coming up here against the Chiefs. Raider Nation, what's going on? Is this the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube? For Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. And if you haven't already, subscribe right here. I'm giving you Chucky Heads, news, rumors, Raider Nation rumors. And look at this, I'm making your life easier. Check out my next video. Thanks for watching, and go Raiders.